Man, I love Melly to death, bro. There's a lot of things he done did for me, career-wise. Not just that. I haven't had too many personal relationships with a lot of rappers. You feel me? But I done babysitted his brother. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's forever love, and I'm in his corner.
What's good, RIZZLE fam? Looks like Fredo Bang showed up in an interview just a few days ago, and he decided to share his opinion on YNW Melly facing the dire consequences of his crimes, possibly even getting the death penalty. YNW Melly's being kept behind bars for allegedly taking the lives of his homies, but Fredo Bang wasn't showing much emotions when he talked about that situation. People believe that Fredo might be keeping his mouth shut just for the sake of the interview, but it might be something else. So what exactly did he say, and what does he think about the whole situation? Well, the case of YNW Melly is pretty popular in the hip-hop world, and he's a controversial go-to topic on most of the occasions that you could think of. There are plenty of reasons why that's the case. I mean, Melly's a bipolar rapper who's got murder on his mind and fell in love with guns when he was just a kid. You would expect him to be a walking controversy, and he definitely is. The fact that he is accused of murdering two of his closest friends is only the icing on the cake. Melly lost two of his buddies and fellow rappers in October of 2018. According to his story, Melly, YNW Bortland, Sack Chaser, and Juvie were all in a car and on their way back home from the studio one night. Things went south when they stopped their car at a traffic light and another car pulled up right next to theirs. The people in the other car were strapped up and they came ready. They allegedly pulled out their burners and started spraying the car of YNW Melly with bullets. Fortunately, Sack Chaser and Juvie were hit and they lost their lives immediately. Bortland and Melly took them to the hospital, but it was all too late. They were already gone. In 2019, the police started investigating this incident and they soon realized that not everything went exactly how Bortland and Melly said it did. In fact, their story was full of plot holes, and cops quickly connected the dots. This incident was a setup. According to the prosecutors who made their case against Melly and Bortland in 2019, 1 year after the incident took place, this was not a case of a drive-by attack. This was staged by Melly and Bortland. Make it look like it was a drive-by, but in reality, it was Melly who took the lives of Sack Chaser and Juvie. Now, we still don't know if that's true or not. We've been waiting for Melly's case to unravel for quite some time now. The trial has been postponed multiple times, and so have the charges. As time went on, Melly was also charged with other cases, and because of it, capital punishment was introduced to the table since then. You see, if Melly is convicted, he might be looking at the death sentence. Even though it seemed initially like Melly and his legal team ducked the death penalty, they're not out of it just yet. The decision to take the death sentence out of the convo was overruled by an appellate judge a few months ago, and once again, Melly is eligible for capital punishment. One of the guys who's keeping an eye on this ever since the beginning of Melly's troubles was Fredo Bang. Fredo and Melly collaborated on a number of projects. They made plenty of music together. Since the beginning, Fredo always had Melly's back. In fact, he was even contacted by the prosecutors in YNW Melly Case, yet he refused to tell him anything. See, last year the prosecutors wanted to talk with Fredo and ask him a few questions about the incident that got Melly's day ones murked. However, he refused to cooperate. Apparently, he was one of the first people who Melly called up right after the incident. That was the reason why the prosecutors wanted to find out more about Fredo's involvement, but Fredo wasn't having any of it. Fredo's attorney, D'Amica Davis, gave an official statement that said, "I'm representing Mr. Frederick Givens in the state of Florida versus Jamel Demons. I represented Mr. Givens in the capacity of him being a witness. He was not charged with any crime by the state of Florida. Mr. Givens has exercised his right to remain silent, and the court ultimately granted Mr. Givens' request. Mr. Givens does not intend to cooperate with the prosecution of this case, but Mr. Givens will fully comply with the law, both state and federal law. We do wish Jamel Demons all the best, and we're hoping for a fair and impartial outcome in the resolution of his case." Fredo pleaded the fifth, and he has been kept outside of the case since then. But now we found out a bit more info about how Fredo feels about this whole situation that Melly got himself into. Fredo had nothing but love for Melly. In a recent interview, he explained exactly how the collaboration between him and Melly that made Brazy happen took place. Also, he let us in on what he feels for him right now. Fredo and Melly haven't spoken in quite some time. Melly's been cut off from his phone privileges.
He haven't had any, I don't think he been having phone privileges. I haven't talked to him in a while. Matter of fact, I haven't talked to him around since around April. Like, we'll send, like, send word like, "What's up, fool? How you doing?" like that. But I don't have no way of him contacting me.
And then, when Vlad mentioned that the death penalty was again in the conversation for his case, this made Fredo uncomfortable. When Vlad asked him how he felt about the fact that his homie might get capital punishment, he responded with,
"Man, I love Melly to death, bro. There's a lot of things he done did for me, career-wise, to help me get known and stuff, and not just that. I haven't had too many personal relationships with a lot of rappers, you feel me? But I done babysitted his brother. You know what I'm saying? So, like, it's forever love, and I'm in his corner all the way through, you feel me?"
As you can tell from the interview, Fredo and Melly go way back, and Melly means a lot to him. Losing him would be a disaster for Fredo. However, people online couldn't help but notice that Fredo didn't really go that deep into that topic of conversation. He replied only as much as was needed, and you could see that he wasn't really comfortable with giving out more info. Fans online left a few comments in that regard. One person said, "Fredo keeping a poker face." Another Fredo fan said that's just who Fredo Bang is. He doesn't talk much. If you watch all his interviews, you would know he never says too much. It's pretty obvious that Fredo doesn't want to talk too much about Melly and his case, because he knows that all kinds of people are watching him and paying close attention to everything he says. Perhaps that's the reason why Fredo wasn't too talkative when Vlad asked him about Melly. Then again, maybe he's just being himself and keeping it short, because that's what he does. Regardless, in difficult times, people often disappear and leave you out to dry. Fredo is not one of those people. He's clearly still a Melly fan and a true friend. He'll stand by Melly no matter what comes his way, and you love to see such loyalty. In the end, we're still waiting patiently to see what's exactly going to happen with YNW Melly. Seems like the trial might start very soon, and we'll finally get the answer that we've been waiting on for like 5 years. But what y'all think about the fact that Fredo Bang is still in Melly's corner after all this time? You think Melly's going to get convicted and eventually face the death penalty? Let us know your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. If you liked our video, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, click that bell too so you know when the next video is coming out. Tell a friend or two, and as always, remember to keep it RIZZLE.